Governor, it still doesn't explain to us. You have a lot of money. Your business, you said you closed the bars. You stopped the matatu business. No. But you still have a lot of money going.
Involvement in significant acts of corruption while serving as Kenya's Attorney General.
High School from 1968 to 1974.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is announcing the public designation of former Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko Gideon Mbuvi Kioko due to his involvement in significant corruption. This designation renders Mike Sonko and his immediate family members ineligible for entry into the United States.
The U.S. State Department said it made the decision following credible information that Sonko solicited bribes and kickbacks in exchange for awarding government contracts to his associates while in office, undermining the rule of law and the public's faith and the country's democratic institutions and processes. The designation included Sonko's wife, Primrose Mwelu Mbuvi, their daughters Saumu Agnes Mbuvi and Salma Wanjiru, as well as Sonko's minor child. In response to the ban, Sonko said the directive appeared politically instigated.
First, I'm shocked, I'm even surprised why this news is just being released or coming just a day after I've declared that I'm going to defend my governorship seat in Nairobi County Government. I'm very surprised and I'm very shocked. And I think the US government has also not verified their facts, because these are very misleading facts.
Former Governor Sonko's corruption has been widely reported in local and international press. With this designation, the department reaffirms the need for accountability, transparency, and respect for the rule of law in Kenya's democratic institutions, government processes, and the actions of public officials.
I'm facing charges of money laundering and not giving out tenders. So I'm wondering why the US government, or where are they getting this fake news from?
When Mike Mbuvi Sonko took over the reins of power in Nairobi, his speech was one filled with promise of a better life for the residents of Nairobi. But the reign of the King of Bling soon began to fade into a scandal-ridden stint shortly after. In 2019, the Director of Public Prosecution issued an arrest warrant for Sonko, which led to a hunt 300 kilometers away from Nairobi in Voi. The dramatic scenes would later see a handcuffed and seemingly defeated Sonko arrested and charged with corruption. The Nairobi
was named in a dossier released by the immediate former U.S. envoy Michael Ranberger as an alleged drug trafficker. Moi had since threatened to sue the immediate former U.S. ambassador to Kenya on grounds that the ambassador had implicated him in the illicit narcotics trafficking trade. He started his career as a police officer in his early 20s and made his name as a top marksman who participated and excelled in many international shooting tournaments. He was, however, sacked from the police force for insubordination after he refused to shave his beard, claiming that he had a skin condition that worsened with shaving. The Kilome Member of Parliament has always cut a mysterious and yet controversial figure, often engaging the state in lengthy court battles whenever he felt his rights had been infringed upon. For instance, in 1980s, he sued the government when his passport was confiscated under unclear circumstances. This was at the height of President Moi's iron fist rule, and at a time when few Kenyans could have dared to take the government to court. Moi later in 1997 appointed Moi to head the Kenya Anti-Corruption Authority. He was, however, a few years later sent packing after a tribunal was set up to investigate his conduct. Moi's vast business interests are mainly situated in Nairobi and Mombasa. Among the better known is the Pepe Inland Container Depot, which authorities have in the past claimed is a front for illicit business deals, including drug trafficking, although so far nothing conclusive has been established to confirm the claims. He is also associated with Haron International Limited, an import and export company that supplies electronics to most dealers in the country. Through Haron International, Moi is believed to be the largest supplier of household electronics and appliances such as TVs, music systems, washing machines, among others. He is also believed to have a substantial stake in the Nakumatt chain of supermarkets, the country's largest retail shopping chain. He is also associated with Charterhouse Bank that was closed after being alleged to be involved in illicit money laundering deals and whose reopening the US government has strongly opposed. He is also linked to the multi-million shillings business venture known as the Village Market, the 5-star tribe hotel located within the Village Market, and Kingsway Tires Limited, among other business entities.
Sisi lazima tuendelee mbele, raia wapate haki yao.
On the political front, Moi had a failed stab at the presidency in 1992 on a pig ticket. But Moi's weight and might was felt in a by-election in Kilome constituency, occasioned by the brutal murder of the then area member of parliament Tony Ndilinge in November 2001. So elaborate was the campaign that he set up a high-tech satellite communication system to monitor the by-election across the vast constituency. The boss, as Moi is commonly known, finally managed to clinch the Kilome seat in the 2007 general election and was appointed an assistant transport minister. He was later transferred to the trade docket, but stepped aside when he was...
The U.S. government banned former Attorney General Amos Wako and his family from the U.S. for involvement in significant acts of corruption while serving as Kenya's Attorney General. U.S. State Department officials refused to delve into details, but told Citizen TV that they generally looked at the nature of the corrupt acts, including any potential impact on U.S. national interests. Sam Gituku dissects what U.S. officials said in explaining the latest ban on Wako.
Just why did the US government ban former Attorney General and Busia Senator Amos Wako from the country? The answer is not clear, but there are hints in what US officials tell Citizen TV and in which US officials are providing those answers. In response to our queries, a US State Department official reiterated, quote, "The Secretary of State has credible information that Mr. Wako was involved in significant corruption while serving as Kenya's Attorney General." The official adding that corruption inflicts substantial cost upon the economy, society and security, can facilitate organized crime and saps confidence in rule of law and governance, and that this directly impacts U.S. national security, economic and foreign policy interests, and those of partner nations. When asked why the U.S. would ban him from entering its territory 2 times in 10 years, Busia Senator Amos Wako was at a loss to provide answers, or so he claimed.
Ask them, please, and let me know. I don't want to waste my brain thinking and speculating why should I?
The response to our queries has been signed by an official from the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs. This further raising questions as to the context of the body of evidence against Wako. On its website, the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs was established in 1978 to reduce drug trafficking into the United States from Latin America. It was 17 years later reorganized to its current stature with 2 key competencies, including developing and implementing the architecture necessary for international drug control and cross-border law enforcement cooperation. The Bureau's website states that, quote, "It uses a wide range of tools to counter crime, illegal drugs, and instability abroad, including foreign assistance, sanctions, and rewards." The most prominent drugs case involving Kenya that is before U.S. courts is the Akasha case. When asked if he was involved in any way in a drug case facing 2 Akasha brothers in the U.S., the senator denied.
That I do not know. And the little I know about the Akasha, my name does not feature there whatsoever, at all.
The senator has been named and has claimed ignorance of what his charges are.
Let them share with me and also make it public for the Kenyans to know the full particulars of the allegations of corruption against me.
They have been in and out of the court fighting hard not to be extradited to Jersey to face charges relating to economic crimes, including money laundering. They're still in court in Jersey. Some developments. An agreement is the latest step taken by the government of Kenya and Jersey to secure the return of the funds which were confiscated by the Royal Court of Jersey in February last year. They were confiscated after the defendant company Windward Trading Limited, owned by the defendants, pleaded guilty to 4 counts of laundering the proceeds of corruption. This agreement, signed between Dr. Kamau Thuge, the Principal Secretary for the National Treasury, and the Chief Minister of Jersey, Senator Ian Ghost, on behalf of the government of Jersey on the 3rd of March 2017, signifies the commitment of the two countries in resolving the historic corruption and financial crimes. In June 2011, the Attorney General of Jersey requested the extradition of Samuel Gishuru and Chris Okemu to face money laundering charges in Jersey in connection with Windward's activities. The extradition proceedings are still in court. Last week, the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Amendment Bill became law. President Uhuru Kenyatta signed the bill intended to make it difficult for criminals to hide their ill-gotten wealth. The new law also makes it possible to recover properties acquired as a result of criminal undertakings. This is the first legislation that potentially deters economic crimes by making it harder for criminals to hide stolen funds. If one is found liable, a fine of not more than 5 million shillings is imposed, while a company or a corporate body would be fined not more than 25 million shillings. In case of continuous failure, the individual or institution involved will be fined 10 million shillings for a maximum period of 180 days. The new law is a boost to the Asset Recovery Agency, comprising of the Attorney General's Office, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The law establishes the agency, which has been struggling with their mandate.